Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 3 of our 7 DVC Resorts in 7-week series. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends, Sean Falk.
Hi.
Jackie Gailey.
Hi, guys.
Steve Porter.
Hello.
And Corey Fiascanaro back on the switch.
Welcome home.
And this week, we are going to take a look at Beach Club Villas and tell you about our experiences at Beach Club Villas. But first, here's a quick look at the resort. Okay, so first opened July 2002. This resort is 17 years old as of the time that we're recording this. What do you think the opening sale price was back in 2002?
I think like 88.
88? What do you think, Jackie?
I feel like it was around 80.
It was $84 a point.
Wow, right in between.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, $84 a point. Contracts there expire in 2042. The current direct sale price from Disney for Beach Club Villas, $225 a point. So think about that. $84 a point when it opened in 2002. 17 years later, it's going for $225 a point. Its average resale price now from DVCstore.com, who's an official sponsor of this show and the Diz, $145 to $160 a point. And that's high considering that it expires in 2042, but it gives you an idea how incredibly popular this resort is. 208 rooms in total. 36 deluxe studios at 356 square feet. 21 bedroom units, 726 square feet. 78 two-bedroom units that are dedicated, 1,038 square feet, and 74 two-bedroom lock-off units that are actually 1,075 square feet, a little bit smaller on the lock.
What does a lock-off mean?
Lock-off means it is a one-bedroom and a studio. So as opposed to a dedicated two-bedroom. So with these, you actually have, it's a one-bedroom unit and a studio that connects. So that studio is going to have its own door in and out.
Okay.
That's how you know it's a lock-off. If it doesn't, if the second bedroom doesn't have its own
Entrance.
basically, it's not a lock-off.
Okay.
Now, this was the first time that we kind of knew we were flagged.
Oh, yes.
So as a result, I'm not able to give a full rating on this resort because I cannot guarantee that the experience that we had is consistent with the experience you would have if you were doing this. And so if I can't be sure of that, I can't give a proper rating. We can tell you what happened and what our impressions were, but I feel that we have to be very transparent. So when I say we were flagged, it means they knew we were there, and that we're with the Diz, and that we do DBC shows, and we found that out because Jackie was staying. We had a one-bedroom unit. Jackie was staying there, and Jackie, tell them the experience you had with your check-in process.
Okay, so I didn't have to go to the front desk because I had the room number, and so
I did online check-in.
Yep, because Pete did online check-in, so we were connected in my Disney experience, but we weren't connected with my official My Disney Experience account. It was the one where you just can add an adult to the reservation. So my name was on the reservation, but it wasn't he got the text message, not me. So I sort of had a feeling that my Magic Band wouldn't work. So I headed up to the room anyways, and sure enough, the Magic Band didn't work. So because I've been to Disney so many times and I know who to call, I didn't schlep my luggage to the front desk to see what was going on with my Magic Band. I just whipped out my cell phone and I called IT, which is the Internet Help Desk. So, and I said, this is what's going on. And they verified my information and they fixed whatever they needed to fix. And I got into the room. The Magic Band worked suddenly and I was in. So I was tucking my luggage in and just sort of going around taking pictures when there was a knock at the door. And the thing is that for I don't want to give too many details, but I was indisposed, we'll say. And I asked who it was. I knew it wasn't Pete yet because he was telling me where he was on his way over. And so I knew it couldn't have possibly been him. And I thought, well, who in the world is knocking at the door already? So I go over to the door and I say, who is it? And the man says it's guest services. And he gives me his name. And I said, well, can you hold on for just a couple of minutes because I'm not ready to answer the door. And so I'm like frazzled kind of because, I mean, let's be honest, I wasn't ready for company. So anyways, get things handled. I open the door and we're, hey, how you doing? He has 2 Disney Vacation Club Magic Bands in his hand. And he says, I just want to make sure that you were able to get into your room. You're obviously in, everything's fine. And I heard that there was a problem, so I wanted to come and check and make sure that it was okay.
Now,
Mrs. Werner, he calls me.
Mrs. Werner, okay. Now, also, this is now a few weeks after the Grand Floridian review.
Yep.
Because that was the tipping point.
Yes.
When that Grand Floridian review went up, that seemed to be when we started getting flagged.
Yeah.
And we are releasing these reviews in the order that we did them. So I just want to make that clear. So
Yeah.
I get to the beach club and I texted Jackie that I just parked, and she goes, "There's a manager in the room." I'm like, "Oh God, all right." So I get up and the gentleman was there. I forgot his name, but very, very, very nice.
Yes.
But there were also chocolates in that room, and
Yes.
with a little note for me on them. And I was like, okay, all right, they know.
4 bottles of water.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
So this is how we know that we've been flagged, right? And that means I also know that that room was either selected specifically for me to stay in, or it was poured over very carefully before we got in there. And the room was flawless.
Oh,
yes.
it's great.
It was
was
stunning.
And look, no, in all fairness, the reviews and the reports I've had from, this was my first time in a while since the rooms were changed, since the rooms were rehabbed recently in the last few years. This is my first time being in them, so the reports from everybody that stays at Beach Club are pretty much unanimous that these are gorgeous rooms. So I want to put that out there, that it's not that these rooms are garbage and we just happen to have a really good one. Generally speaking, but I cannot give you a review because I know it's not.
It's weird to me that Disney would make it so overt that and obvious that they knew that you were there.
Well,
because if I were Disney,
let's be honest.
I would just try to make it look flawless without the chocolates and the waters and all that.
But let's be honest. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back here, but we are about the only outlet that is fully transparent about the treatment we get from Disney, especially when we're doing a review. And for most people, this would absolutely influence that.
Yes.
That a lot of these quote-unquote influencers and so on social media, they are looking for free stuff, and they will give good reviews for free stuff, and that's what Disney is used to. They're not used to somebody who's going to come on camera and say, "You know what, folks, I'm going to tell you the truth. This is what happened. This is what happened." And so that's Now, maybe after this round, I don't know. Maybe they will be a little less obvious about it. Now, and I will say this was not the case, especially as we get to some of the other resorts. This was not the case at every one. It was the case here. It was certainly the case at Animal Kingdom Lodge. But I
mean, it was lovely.
it was absolutely gorgeous.
But at the same time, I felt like it was so nice of him to come to the room because he
But
saw
I don't know
that there
that-
was a problem with the magic band. But would it
But
happen with everyone?
I don't know that would have happened. I don't believe that would have happened with everyone else.
I don't know that it would have either, because I loved it. It was lovely. I mean, I felt like that's really top notch that he stopped his day to come to the room.
Well, it's also, like I said, it was, and it's not that I don't appreciate it. Believe me, I've worked really hard.
Yeah.
We've worked really, really hard over 22 years to get to a point where we're recognized like that, and it does feel good. I'm not going to say it doesn't.
Yeah.
But it's frustrating when you're trying to do an honest review and you
Yes.
can't.
Yep.
Because you've been flagged.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate it, and but I'm sorry, I don't think everybody that checks into a one-bedroom at Beach Club that has a problem with their magic bands has somebody come to the room, give them free magic bands. They don't walk in and find chocolates and bottled water and all this other stuff there.
That's right.
So I cannot, and look, can I sit here and say that I can give you a review and factor that stuff in and still give an honest review? Sure, I can. But I don't even want a hint of it. As a result of this, it was too late with this round of reviews for me to change what we were doing. But I will tell you, without giving away too much, going forward, how we do these reviews is going to change dramatically. This will be the last time they're done like this. And we've kind of figured out a solution, but I'm not going to go into details of it. You'll find out when we start doing it, which actually won't be, probably be later this year. But because what is most important to me is that people get an honest look from us of our experience. So this was our experience, so I have to be honest about it.
Yeah.
But the
take
room
it really seriously.
was absolutely gorgeous. It was really well appointed. I like the fact that these 1 bedrooms, because this is an older property, still does the galley kitchen, which I like. What were your thoughts on it?
I thought it was great. I have not stayed. I've stayed at Beach Club, but I had not stayed at Beach Club Villas before. I thought it was beautiful. It did have a extremely empty, large size pool because everybody wanted to go use the sand bottom pool and not necessarily that one.
You have Stormalong Bay, which is the pool that's shared by Yacht and Beach, which is the most popular pool on property. I don't think that's arguable anymore. But then you have the DVC pool, the quiet pool.
Yeah.
That was pretty much like a ghost town.
It was dead. So, which was great because there's some people who don't, would love the peace and quiet of that, and it almost felt like that area was like Alani, the adults pool area that's off to the side. So it kind of had that feel to it. I thought that Beach Club was awesome as far as the villas go. I loved, and we talked about it a bit with the Grand Floridian. I love the incorporation of the Ariel statue outside of it, and then some of the merchandise for Beach Club has started incorporating Ariel with the Little Mermaid. And obviously, I've always been a big advocate for Disney resorts including more Disney characters and Disney theming. It doesn't have to be as far for me as Art of Animation, where it's like, this is a Lion King room and this is painted, we're in the jungle and there's the sun in the shower and all that kind of stuff. But I love, like at the Grand Floridian Villas with the penguins, and I love the little statue of Ariel, and you get that feeling of like, I'm still at Disney, but it's done in this more polished way rather
So
than
subtle.
it's less subtle than like, here's that the Larry the Cable Guy car from Cars.
Right, because if you take those things away, then it could just be a nice resort anywhere.
Exactly. So if you want to purchase into Beach Club and you don't want to get on the wait list with Disney, you can text Beach Club.
Oh, I forgot to do that. Sorry.
You're good. You can text Beach Club, all one word, to 888-111. Whenever you click on it, you just need to actually click the link and fill out what use years you would like, or else I'm not going to let you know anything. And
you'll get and with that, you'll get text messages whenever DVCstore.com has a new listing.
Yes.
That matches what you've signed up, and you can sign up for multiple properties.
Oh yeah, just use different text words, sign up for multiple things. You can pick what up to 3 use years that you want. You can get as many updates as you want on this. These sell out pretty quickly, especially for it to be something that gets expires in 2042. Even myself, as I keep talking about, I'm going to actually bite the bullet and buy into DVC. The main places I'm looking at are Beach Club and Boardwalk, even though they expire earlier than the other ones. That's where buy where you want to stay, and I want to be behind Epcot. I want to go. If you're coming down and you want to do Flower and Garden and you want to do Food and Wine, and for me it's New Year's, that I want to be at Epcot. But Candlelight Processional, all these things, like Epcot's just a giant festival going all year long.
So speaking of being close to Epcot, I wasn't there for the day that you guys were there. Is this closer to the Epcot side, or is it on the far end?
Oh no, it's closer. You're literally right behind Epcot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right behind World Showplace, which is that space between Canada and the UK pavilions.
In fact, that's where a lot of the events are going to be held that used to be held in the festival center that they're changing.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're right there.
And you're right on top of Epcot, and that's certainly one of the reasons why Beach Club villas are so popular. And again, this is another one where if you want to stay there, it's really going to help to own there, which I do. That's
And I had somebody message a few days ago that it was on the travel agency side, but they were talking about their companies comes down and they do conventions at the Swan and Dolphin, but they are a DVC owner and they own at Boardwalk Beach Club, and because they get to know like a year in advance, they book and stay over in their own DVC, even though they're coming for work convention and all that. They just don't use Swan and Dolphin. They use their DVC. And I was like, oh, didn't even think to do something like that. Like that's a really good idea. These last not very long whenever they pop up, so they sell out pretty quickly. So we've had about 3 in the last few days, and I believe all of them are gone at this point. I don't know, I'll have to recheck that, but these sell really fast.
Yeah, they do. Now, I like the building because this is off on its own. As we said, it's a separate building, and you have the breezeway, which is this really kind of cavernous room with seating, very comfortable seating. There's usually a concierge out there as well to help with anything that you may need.
Very nice.
And just great decor. It's like very, very beachy, seaside type decor. But when you walk over into the main building, there's the oh Lord, I can't think of it. The
like rec center or whatever.
Well,
I can't think of
it's
what called.
Community hall.
It's not really a community. I mean,
Oh,
it
you're
is
talking about the little library.
It is
and-
is the community hall, but there's a name for it, and I'm just not. So I'm sitting here looking through my pictures to see if I can't see. I don't have a picture of it,
Wait.
but
The solarium?
solarium.
Yes.
That's the word I was
Yeah,
looking
that's
for.
what
Thank
solarium.
you. They do a premium coffee bar over in the solarium from 5:30 a.m. till noon.
Yeah. With
There's
pastries and whatnot. Yeah.
And whereas I find most of the community halls at the DVC properties are usually full of kids, we just saw a lot of adults hanging out in there watching television.
Yeah.
But this is where you can get DVDs to play back in your room if you want, and games and things like that. It's one of the nicer spaces, but also over in the main lobby, the DVC main lobby, across from the breezeway, is another smaller room that has like a full-size pool table, another television and seating areas in there, and that was pretty much empty.
Yeah. There was no one in there.
And
So nice.
those are like just nice
Corners.
little DVC extras that you get.
Yeah, like if you're staying in a studio, you don't have a ton of room in your room. So if you have a big family and you guys are staying in a few studios and you just want to go hang out with everyone, you can go into that room that's right downstairs and just hang out,
Yeah.
A couple of people can play pool, kids can run around, there's TV, it's like a free space to just use because it's there. It's really very nice.
I did go back and look it up. We actually did still have 2 of the beach clubs that came on this week. They're both very stripped, and in case you don't know what that is, they don't have any points on them to use yet, but so these particular won't have any till the early phase of 2021. And I think that's something that people don't necessarily factor into their picking which resort you want all the time.
But you just have to also keep in mind that by the time this goes up, these will be long gone.
Oh yeah, I'm not pitching these specifically. I'm pitching the idea of don't avoid things because they're stripped contracts. I mean, we're not
getting
talking
them
about right of
cheaper.
first refusal, but when they're a stripped contract, I mean, this is February of 2021 is when, you're going to be able to use these points and take this vacation. Currently, it's almost August of 2019. Most people are going to plan about a year out. You can always borrow forward if you just absolutely have to, and and just move forward. But a lot of times when there's banked points, like sometimes there's a whole year of banked points, or something that needs to be used by the end of this year, by Christmas, you are not getting into Beach Club at this point by the end of Christmas. Like, you're not coming down a week and you're not going to be able to use 90 points at Beach Club.
I got my Beach Club. My Beach Club resale went through in April, and there was no chance of me getting
Exactly.
New Year's Eve. And of course, New Year's Eve really popular at these resorts for people who want to stay, be at Epcot for New Year's Eve, which is usually what I do. And that's 11 months out. Boom. done.
Right. And that's the thing that people need to keep in mind. If you're buying at Old Key West, Saratoga, and there's like points already loaded onto it, it's super front loaded, awesome. You can go pretty much whenever you want. You can find something, even if it's a 2-bedroom or whatever. But if you're picking things like Beach Club, Grand Floridian, and all that, like, don't be afraid of like these stripped contracts necessarily, as in the points part of it being like, well, I can't go till December of 2020. You're not going till December 2020 anyway.
Right.
So you're not getting in.
So you know, when I consider like the amenities and, you know, just like the solarium and the breezeway and having the concierge in that just outside the breezeway, he was very, very nice.
Yeah.
They'll make dining reservations for you, do things like that. I really like that. That's a nice touch.
They tell you fun little tidbits. Like if they notice that you're standing there looking at like that giant gorgeous picture that was hanging in the solarium.
Where the hidden Mickey is.
Yeah, he kind of wandered over, and you know, and they're also really good at reading cues. They could tell that we were sort of busy.
Yeah,
and
leave us alone.
so he didn't, yeah, he kind of got that vibe and didn't talk our ear off. It was nice.
And of course, our dining review for this week, staying consistent with what we've been doing these past few weeks, is at Cape May Cafe. We'll let you watch that review. That goes up. That will go up with this. And you know, there are other options. You have Beaches and Cream, table service, but some counter service is available as well at Beaches and Cream.
Now, Beaches and Cream is going to be getting ready to close toward the end of August, so it'll be closed for a decent refurbishment. They're
August 2019.
expanding. Yeah.
August 2019.
Yeah.
Of course, its proximity to Epcot and the availability of Stormalong Bay, the swimming pool, are the big selling points. One of the reasons these are so popular. But factoring in, like I said, you know, I'm putting an asterisk on my rating here because of the fact that we were flagged. I overall give it an 8.5. The check-in experience, I gave a 7.5 because there was a problem with the Magic Band. I cannot factor in any of the other stuff. It was fixed with a phone call. So, but 7.5 because the Magic Band didn't work. It's been long enough now that Magic Band should not be not working, and there are just too many stories about Magic Bands not working from multiple people, so they get dinged on that. Overall condition of the room, again, with an big asterisk after this, gave it a 9. The room was beautiful, but
It's hard to tell.
it's hard to tell.
One of the neatest things I remember when we were standing there on the patio that was so cool is that the patio extended the whole length of the room. So it went from the one bedroom,
balcony,
from
yeah.
the bedroom balcony all the way out to the living room. And that was something that I thought made that room pretty exceptional too.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. How comfortable was it staying there?
It was incredible. It was a different mattress than I had at the previous resort I stayed in, but it was incredible just the same. I slept like a baby.
Friendliness of cast, I gave them an 8. Both the cast was very friendly. Again, I cannot factor in some of these other things when I know they knew we were there. I found the cast friendly. I did not find them to be Wilderness Lodge friendly, Copper Creek friendly, but
So is that rating with them? No, like
that I am not factoring in. Okay. Well, I'm talking about cast members that I interacted with because I went out of my way
to go to like the gift shops. And
exactly. I went out of my way. People that would have no way of knowing we were there, and just in terms of those interactions.
Stuff. Okay.
And then the amenities common area, I gave an 8 overall. I thought very nice, nicely appointed, but yeah, an 8. So overall, it gets an 8.5, but there's a big asterisk after that because the room, I can't tell you that room was the same room we would have gotten had they not known that we were there.
I also liked with the gift shop there was a lot of beach club specific merchandise. And
Lot of
that's-
beach club
right,
merchandise.
and that's been an issue looking through the different stuff because I mean there's been a few articles like that I've posted and stuff like that that's all about like pride in your home resort and like all that, and people want to buy merchandise that says their home resort on it. I don't know why Disney doesn't like hop on that, but they're usually quicker on pumping merchandise to sell that people will buy.
Because they want to make it as generic as possible so that they get the production costs
I guess.
down and can charge the maximum price.
That's weird to me though, because it's not like they could order a ton of like beach club shirts. It's not like a beach club shirt is going to go bad. It's not like it expires. Just order more.
Now, again, if they can do generic Disney shirts, they can order in larger quantities, which drives the cost of production down. Yet they can still charge, what T-shirts are $35 now.
So expensive.
So if they can get the price down, the production price down to $3 for that shirt, because they're ordering 1 million of them versus
100,000.
That's their justification for it. But at the same time, and I did find Beach Club had more Beach Club logo merchandise than many of the other ones. I also have to say that gift shop, there's a quick service area in there I didn't eat there, so I can't tell you, but it was really, I really liked the assortment of what they offered, especially in the morning, the breakfast sandwiches and the breakfast type items for a quick grab and go breakfast. Of course, they have the freestyle Coke machines in there, which if you watch any of the other shows, I'm a lunatic for a freestyle Coke machine.
I'll say that quick service little like area that's in the gift shop is not my favorite. I've been there and got flatbreads and things before, and it's never my favorite option. I'll just say that.
I will say over on the yacht club side, I have eaten there many times, and that one's excellent.
That one's the new one, right?
Gale and Compass.
Yeah.
No. I'm talking about they have in the gift shop on the yacht club side.
Yeah, it's called the
Marketplace.
Marketplace.
The
at Gale and Compass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then that,
I have a question. I wish I would have thought about it for the last 2 episodes. So one of the big trends now is like people, whether DVC or buying regular, coming down and you staying, like doing resort only vacations. Like we're seeing a trend of that moving up. Is Beach Club somewhere that you think, by comparison to Copper Creek and
if you're a pool person,
Grand Floridian, like
if you're a pool person, I think Beach Club Villas is a great
Resort-only.
property for resort only stay. I would feel that Copper Creek absolutely 100% is great for resort only stay, and same with Grand Floridian, because Grand Floridian has a spa.
yeah.
And there just seems to be more there.
Yeah. Plus, it's easier to get around to.
But I think if you're not a pool person, I don't know that Beach Club. I mean, granted, you have the boardwalk right there too. You could walk over to the boardwalk. So, but generally, for me personally, if I was going to do a resort only stay, because I'm not a pool guy,
Right.
then no, I wouldn't. That wouldn't be my first choice. So. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that's a good question.
I like it. I mean, I like the atmosphere, and I really do enjoy just a gorgeous lobby. So, like, I've been to a birthday party for a local friend at the Solarium where we just got together there and hung out, and it wasn't anything like, organized.
Drank your Thunderbird.
Like, yeah, it was just fun.
So you're saying for a person that's not a theme park person,
If you
really?
just want to go, because
Yeah.
this has been a theme forming.
It's an upward trend.
I feel like Animal Kingdom Lodge would be.
Well, we're speaking about this resort. Would this resort be a good?
for that. Like if somebody was purchasing in and was like, I want to do that, but I know, my kids are about to graduate from, they're about to go to college or whatever, and like I'd rather start, like I don't need to do the parks as much. They're about to get chaotic with like, Galaxy's Edge and like it's super hot, all that kind of stuff. And a lot of people are starting to want to just stay at the resorts.
I think for things like Beach Club, Yacht Club, Boardwalk, contemporary stuff like that, the huge draw to them is that proximity to the park. But I think I mean, I wouldn't say Beach Club is the worst of them because they do have they have ship shape and stuff like that. So like you have the spa and everything. And I also wanted to mention something about the quick service locations before we end off there. But the quick service location at the Beach Club, I've eaten there a few times, and I do like it. I don't think their flatbreads are bad, but I wouldn't put it up against any of the quick services at resorts that we consider good. I'd put it somewhere in the middle. And then as far as we mentioned yacht clubs too, don't get coffee at the yacht club cafeteria. I mean, I don't know if you guys had different experiences, but me and Haley got a coffee there once. It was literally the worst coffee ever. And then we did one again there because
That has not been my experience.
yeah, it happened to us twice, but yeah, maybe it was just that day and that batch and that CM. I don't know, but
No, I'll tell you. I wish I remembered her name. But actually, the cast member that does the coffee, there's a cast member that works the coffee that if you're getting like a cappuccino or an Americano or something like that, as opposed to just the regular fill your refillable mug coffee. I got talking to her when we had stayed there over New Year's, and then I was back over there a couple months ago. And went in and got coffee, and it was her. She remembered my name.
wow.
She remembered. She remembered like all these details. Now, and we're talking about this is 6-7 months away from the last time we talked. And again, she doesn't know what I do for a living, right? She doesn't know anything about that. She just knows. Oh, you were. And she looked at me. She goes, "You're Peter. You were here over
Wow.
New Year's Eve, right? Over New Year's."
Aw,
That
I love that.
I wish I could remember her name.
She remembered yours.
She remembers mine, but I have no memory. So, all right. So overall, that's our look at Beach Club Villas for this episode of our 7 DVC Resorts in 7 Weeks series. Next week, we talk about Animal Kingdom Lodge. So until then, have a great week, and we'll see you next time.